There are places on our planet where reality surpasses fiction. You would certainly never imagine that there could be islands where people see everything in black and white, regions where women are completely forbidden to enter, or villages where the inhabitants go to the supermarket or swim in the municipal pool without any clothes. Don't miss this new video from our channel to learn more about the 10 strangest, most mysterious, and extraordinary places on the planet, cities governed by scarecrows, cities where the population decided to live on the slopes of an active volcano, others made of garbage and inhabited by garbage collectors, or cities where the population always lives underground. Pay attention to this video, as we guarantee that everything in it will surprise you. Let's start with Pinglab, Micronesia, the island where you see in black and white. Pinglab is a remote island that belongs to the state of Pohnpei in Micronesia, an island where for a large part of its population, colors do not exist, a place where more than 10% of its population sees in black and white. It may sound like science fiction, but the world is truly amazing, and that's why we love to create and bring you videos as interesting as this one. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do it now. This island is famous in the scientific world because it is the place where most people suffer from an extreme form of color blindness called achromatopsia, a rare genetic disease that prevents them from distinguishing colors. That's why many know this island as the island of the colorblind. If one day you are lucky enough to visit Pinglab or any of the other islands of Micronesia, you will certainly be surprised by its beauty and nature, its beautiful landscapes and blue waters, or its extraordinary marine world, a reality that makes this problem even sadder for the inhabitants of Pinglab, because despite living in a natural wonder full of colors, more than 10% of the 250 inhabitants of this island see life in black and white. In the world, it is estimated that this disease affects 0.003% of the population, that is, 3 people in every 100,000, while in Pinglab, statistics estimate that between 10% and 30% of the population is affected, meaning between 10 and 30 people in every 100 inhabitants of this island suffer from this disease. And as is almost always the case in life, mysteries are there to be solved, and there is usually a reason for these surprising facts. According to the research we conducted, we have to go back to the year 1775 to discover the cause. That year, a typhoon called Lenek devastated this island, and only 20 people survived, including the tribe leader named Nana Muon, who was believed to suffer from the rare disease achromatopsia. To repopulate the island, the leader decided to have a large number of descendants, so much so that it is believed that all the affected people today have Nana as a relative. No one noticed any change until the achromatopsia appeared in part of the population, a problem that would increase in the 6th generation, and so on until today. In this way, and thanks to this original consanguinity of the ancient leader of Pinglab, the island is one of the most attractive in the world for genetic specialists. But it seems that seeing in black and white also has its advantages for the people of this island, especially when the sun sets. According to many of them, this rare disease provides them with better vision, helping them to fish much better than during the day. If you want to know more about the details of this island and other curiosities of Micronesia, such as the use of ants for female stimulation in intimate relationships, don't miss the video we created weeks ago on the channel and follow this up. Mount Athos, Greece, the forbidden region for women and female animals. If there is a place in the world where it is forbidden to enter if you are a woman, this is the place. Although it may surprise someone, Mount Athos, known as the monastic Republic of Mount Athos, is a peninsular and autonomous region of Greece where the entry of women is prohibited, as well as any female animal. As strange and crazy as it may seem, different signs indicate this warning both at the border of this peninsula and in different places in this mysterious region. To better understand this reality, we must start by knowing the history of this place. Located on the Athos Peninsula, Mount Athos is home to 20 monasteries and is considered one of the most important centers of Orthodox religion. It has been a refuge for monks and a place of pilgrimage for over 1,000 years. It is from this cult that the strict prohibition of women's entry derives. This rule has been in force for over 1,000 years and is based on the orthodox religious tradition and the monastic laws of the place. The main reason for not wanting women or female animals in the region is the preservation of the monastic environment and spiritual atmosphere. According to the monks, the presence of women could distract them from their life of prayer, meditation, and monastic work. Moreover, Mount Athos is considered a garden of the Virgin Mary, and according to tradition, she is the only woman who resides there in spirit. Allowing the entry of other women is considered an act of disrespect towards this devotion. The prohibition is so deeply rooted in the traditions and laws that govern Mount Athos that it has been recognized and protected by Greek legislation and international treaties. Access to Mount Athos is strictly regulated and controlled, and men who wish to visit it must obtain a special permission known as a diamonetarian. This permission is limited in number and duration of stay. Women cannot obtain this permission because the entry of women is strictly prohibited and is associated with penalties and serious risks. Longyearbyen, Norway, the city where it is forbidden to die. Longyearbyen is the largest city and administrative center of the Svalbard archipelago in Arctic Norway. It is known as one of the most northerly settlements in the world. The extreme climate conditions and total darkness during the winter months, as well as the constant light in the summer, make Longyearbyen a fascinating and challenging place to live. The biggest peculiarity of Longyearbyen is that it is forbidden to die here. You must be wondering what the reason for this madness is, but as you will see, it makes much more sense than it seems. It all has to do with permafrost. Permafrost is a layer or extract of soil that remains permanently frozen for at least 2 consecutive years. This freezing occurs mainly in cold regions of the world where soil temperatures remain below the freezing point of water, 0 degrees Celsius, for most of the year. Even in summer, the soil remains frozen all year round. Due to these low constant temperatures, bodies do not decompose as they would in warmer climates. This represents a potential health risk if these corpses are not treated properly. Therefore, people who are seriously ill or near death need to be evacuated from this village to the continent to receive adequate medical care. Manati Nazir, Egypt, a city made of garbage and inhabited by garbage collectors. If there is a place that Egyptians are not particularly proud of, it is certainly the city of Manati Nazir. The strange thing is that there are some impressive things that its inhabitants can be proud of. Located on the outskirts of Cairo, Egypt, with a population of over 20 million, Manati Nazir is commonly known as the garbage city. It has that name for a reason you can imagine. In this city, piles of garbage are literally everywhere, and in a quick glance, it seems that even the buildings are made of garbage and plastics piled up without order or sense. But the reason is simple: most of Cairo's garbage is moved to this place. Manati Nazir is home to around 250,000 people, and its population consists mainly of Zabaleen, or garbage collectors, whose main occupation is collecting garbage from the city and taking it to their residences to be separated and then recycled or sold in second-hand markets. What is impressive is that statistics indicate that almost 90% of all Cairo's garbage is recycled in its entirety and then sold by this small community. In comparison, the recycling rate in the United States is less than 35%. Perhaps many countries should take note of the reality of Manati Nazir. Although the city is a desolate site, its inhabitants are quite satisfied with their lives and do not seem to want to change anything, as they not only live in garbage but also live from it, and by recycling, they make the environment more sustainable. Villa Las Estrellas, Antarctica, the only inhabited village in Antarctica. Villa Las Estrellas is a small Chilean community that can be considered the only permanent settlement in Antarctica. It was founded in 1984 and is located on King George Island. The base has a school, a small hospital, a post office, and other necessary facilities for daily life. Life in Villa Las Estrellas is marked by the harsh Antarctic conditions, with extremely low temperatures, strong winds, and isolation. The base serves both for scientific purposes and for Chile's sovereign presence on the continent. The families who live there generally stay for periods of 1 or 2 years, adapting to an environment that is completely inhospitable. According to some inhabitants of Villa Las Estrellas, the living conditions are so extreme that many have to share a bed or even a bathroom, and taking baths is a luxury that is not always possible. Comfort and privacy are left aside in this small community of researchers and families who inhabit this remote village in inhospitable Antarctica. Nagoro, Japan, the village of scarecrows. Nagoro is a small Japanese village known as the village of scarecrows. The strange thing is that it is not just a few scarecrows, but rather hundreds of them. The village is located in the Tokushima prefecture in Japan. Nagoro is known as the village of scarecrows because its inhabitants decided to replace almost all the villagers with scarecrows. It all started with a woman named Ayono who was born in Nagoro, a village full of life and young people. Decades ago, she moved to Osaka, one of Japan's largest and most cosmopolitan cities, to study and work. Years later, after her mother's death in 2002, she returned to the village to take care of her father. At that time, the population of Nagoro was a shadow of its former self. The young people had left for the big city, and mortality had surpassed the number of births. She began to cultivate her own vegetables, but she noticed that crows were destroying and eating everything that grew on the land. Then she decided to create a scarecrow and place it in her garden. To her surprise, she saw that many of her neighbors passed by the garden and greeted the scarecrow, thinking it was her father. Then she had an idea that would revolutionize the village completely. As more people died or left the village, she would replace them with scarecrows that looked like them. And so, you went from 1 or 2 scarecrows to hundreds, populating the village. Today, it is estimated that the population of Nagoro is less than 50 people, but the scarecrows are still alive and have not left the village. Cap d'Agde, France, a nudist city. Cap d'Agde is a French city known as one of the largest and most famous naturist centers in the world. In this coastal city, life without clothes is a common and accepted practice in all areas of the city, including supermarkets, restaurants, municipal pools, and beaches. The naturist area of Cap d'Agde is a closed condominium that allows its residents and visitors to live without clothes, including in public places.